Hey, what's up YouTube? It's abluegolfball here today with another Pokemon TCG online video, and today I have for you guys the first breakthrough deck that I'm going to be showcasing on my channel, and it's going to be a Chesnaught Break deck. I'm going to be running Chestnaught here. It's going to be a 3-2-2-2 line of Chestnaught. These break evolution that comes off of stage 2s are pretty difficult to set up. Sometimes you see things like, you think about it, a 3-3-3 line for a typical stage 2 Pokemon is pretty common. Sometimes you see like 4-1-4 or 3-1-3 with rare candies, things like that. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. But the thing is, with that one more evolution line here, one more added to the chain, the break evolution Chestnaught, it just makes everything more difficult to get going. And so I'm actually thinning out the line a little bit, and I'm doing only a 3-2-2-2 line instead of something like 3-3-3-2. So those two extra cards, it's hard to squeeze everything in here. I mean, I think you could go less with the energies, but I'm packing in a lot of energies. I consider this a lot, but I'm playing 13 grass energies. But you guys will see. So Chestnaught here is the Break Evolution Chestnaught, and we have the gold border. He's all gold and everything here. You got to turn your head to look at him sideways. It's got the Break Evolution rule. Chestnaught Break retains the attacks and abilities, weakness, resistance, and retreat cost of its previous evolution. And I would assume, if you're playing with like Celebi EX, right? Celebi EX. And you have time recall, or if you have the Shrine of Memories, right? I would assume you can use all those attacks. That's kind of cool, all right? But in this deck, I'm not playing Celebi EX. I just kind of found Celebi EX is more of a liability sometimes. And I already have 2 Shamans in here, which is already a liability. Easy knockouts, so I decided against it. I just figured, you know what? Go big or go home, right? So Chestnaught Break here has a 4 energy cost, does Tough Hammer. This Pokemon does 30 damage to itself. This attack does 30 more damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So it does 30 additional damage. And basically, this is like Darkrai's Night Spear on steroids, right? Because it's really only 1 energy more. You think about it, right? Darkrai's Night Spear is 2 darkness and 1 colorless, and you're hitting for 90 and 30 to the bench. This Tough Hammer here is doing the same thing with just 1 extra energy, and you're hitting for 160. That is 70 more than Darkrai's base 90 Night Spear right there, hitting for 90. And then you slap a Muscle Band for Tough Hammer, and it hits for 180. So there's a little bit of synergy here with Chestnaught, with the non-break Chestnaught here. Can you believe this guy's almost 200 pounds? He's only 5'3". That's it's got to be all this armor here. Anyways, Chestnaught here, the spiky shield can come in handy. So if you get attacked, your opponent will take 30 damage, which is pretty cool. And then the little synergy here is Touchdown. For the exact same energy cost, hit for 90, and then you heal 20 damage. So that means that this Chestnaught Break here, doing 30 damage to itself, you can actually do Touchdown on the next turn. So, I don't know, right? There's some synergy to that. Sure, why not? It is a 4 retreat cost. Of course, we're weak to fire. That could be problematic. But this one is from the base set, XY base set right here. 14 out of 146. And then we're going to be playing also the base set, XY base set. Quilladin here, 90 HP, and then we're going to be using this one right here from the breakthrough set, the Tree Climb and Seed Bomb. You never know when Tree Climb can come in handy. You can search for a grass energy card and reveal and put it in your hand. So really big line here, man. 3-2-2-2. That's already, that's 9 cards right here, which is typical. For example, basically what I did was I removed one of the stage 1s and one of the stage 2s and added 2 of these breaks over here. And then that would have been a typical 3-3-3 line that you'd see pretty common. And, of course, we're not using rare candy since we got Forest of Giants Plant here with the Grass Evolution Pokemon here. Can evolve in the first turn that you play it. As soon as you play it, you can evolve right away, so that's pretty cool. We are going to be running 3 of these Verizons, and as soon as you see Verizon, you know this is expanded. Now, okay. I tried this in standard. Trust me, I tried. And I just didn't like it enough. I think there's certain things you can build in the standard format and make it work with Chestnaught Break. Certainly there is, absolutely. But I just think that Verizon EX just has great synergy with Chestnaught Break in the expanded format because of Emerald Slash and Verdant Wind. It makes this card so so much value to this deck. Emerald Sash hits for 50, and you can search for 2 grass energy cards and attach them to one of your bench Pokemon, shuffle your deck afterwards. Now, again, same thing with Genesect EX decks. You want to pull off 2 Emerald Slashes, and this is what makes it really cool. If you can pull off 2 Emerald Slashes, or at least even 1, and at some point you're able to power up your Chesnaught Break right here. Ooh, not this Chestnaught. Really, by then, that's enough damage on even the Mega that Tough Hammer should be able to handle and wipe out the rest, right? 50 plus 160, that's already 210, plus the Muscle Band. If you have a Muscle Band for the Tough Hammer, you'll be hitting for that nice 230 damage. Of course, unless you're dealing with, I don't know, well, actually nothing, because Whale Lord EX is grass weak. So is Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre EX. They're both grass weak, so you can basically hit for a Tough Hammer and knock them out in one shot. But again, it will take 2 turns to power them up, for sure. If you can get Virizion going, turn 2 Emerald Slash. If you go first, you get energy down, and then you play another energy in your turn 2. Hit for Emerald Slash. Certainly you can power up 2 Pokemon, get them going, pull off 2 Emerald Slashes, get a lot of things going on your side of the field. So Shaman is a staple in most decks. I can't emphasize enough how of much of a staple Shaman EX is. So 2 of those. And here's the thing, all right? You may be thinking I'm crazy, right? Because there's 2 grass and 2 colorless energies here. Same thing with this right here. And why is abluegolfball not playing DCEs? Well, I realize DCEs, when you play an expanded, I feel like everybody's playing 1 copy of Enhanced Hammer, right? Maybe not, I don't know. But I tested this in, a couple times, and I was like, oh, forget it. I'm not going to play Enhanced or any DCEs. I just keep losing it with Enhanced Hammers. Plus, when I played 4 copies of DCEs, right? So I did 9 and 4. I could probably try 3, or maybe just 2. Maybe I could have done 2, yeah. But you know what? I like it like this. I like the 3 straight up grass energies. Makes it more flexible. Let me tell you guys this. I think a couple times I played and I started off with like the DCE, and then I ended up playing a DCE with a grass energy for Virizion EX on my turn 2. And then, of course, that boosts up damage for an Eviltal EX or for a Mewtwo EX, and it's like, oh, man, what the junks. But, again, I think DCE can definitely be in here. I think 2 copies would be really nice. I should have done that. I don't know. I could probably change that right now, but for some reason, I kind of like all grass. It gives you the peace of mind with dealing with Aegislash EX, too. But, again, I think 2 DCs could work in here. If you really want to, you could do 3. Certainly can do 3, but that's my discretion here. My route, I just went straight up grass energies, and that was about it. So we have right here for the item cards and whatnot, we have Lava Ball, 2 of these, 3 Roller Skates, 1 Super Rod, and Super Rod was reprinted, so that could be in standard. We have 2 switches here because our, we just gotta get switches for the Virizion EX in case we don't want to burn energy to retreat. We have Ultra Ball here, 4 of those, and 4 VS Seekers. That's it for the item cards. And for our trainers, pretty light in the trainers since we're going to rely a lot on Shaman and things like that. We have Colress here. We do have Giovanni's Scheme, so I don't have the full art of this yet. When I do, I can't wait for it. We have Lysander, gotta have one of these, 3 Ends, 2 Professor Junipers, and 1 Skyla. And then we already mentioned the Force Giant Plants. We have 1 Floatstone in case we need to play that onto the Shaman EX or the Virizion EX, as well as the 3 Muscle Bands. And that's it for the deck. Let's go ahead and see this deck in action on Pokemon TCG Online. Alright, and we're going to be playing against Jenna the Pumpkin, the Lightning deck here. We even see the yellow duck box as well. We will be flipping for this heads here to win the coin toss, and we did win it. And this is great. That way we can go first, so we can evolve first. And here we go. Let's take a look and see. We got pretty good. Okay, never mind. We got nothing. Okay, so here we got Chespin, Virizion EX. Definitely want to go with the Virizion EX. That way we can go ahead and get that turn 2 Emerald Slash, assuming my opponent doesn't play something like Headringer. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that'd be pretty tragic. So, off to a pretty decent start after mulligan once. Now, I mean, we can at the very least, we got Juniper there. We got 2 Junipers. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead. We'll play that energy right here. We might as well. We can discard both Junipers via Seeker. A little fancy style points there. Of course, we can just, get rid of the via Seeker. But Let's go for the Shaman right here. You never know, we can get off a couple more things. So we can. What I want to do is also, is to maximize as many things as I can. And it looks like we just. Oh wow! It doesn't look like we have anything. I should have just gone with the Juniper right away. And let's just go with the. No, let's go with the Chespin. That way we can. Having 3 Chespins is kind of obnoxious, but since we only played a 2-2-2 line of everything else, but yeah, this is a little bit tragic. I'm gonna have to go with the VS Seeker in our turn 2, and go that route. Now, definitely, I could have gone with the, the stage 1 after Chespin and just evolve that way, but. We'll just play 3 of them in here, and this way my opponent does do an overrun. We're going to have at least 2 Chespins that are fresh, unless my opponent targets the, oh my goodness, we see a Team Flare Grunt. Oh, that's going to be inconvenient. That's going to put us back at least until turn 3 to hit a Emerald Slash. I regret playing that. Now I kind of wish we played the Switch, or we should have benched the Virizion on the bench first. But you never know what, I mean, who would have thought that we'll see a turn 1, Team Flare Grunt right away. So we're going to play this on the bench here. You never know, my opponent can play Via Seeker for another Team Flare Grunt, so we don't want to power up the one in the active spot. We're just going to play a Patient here, and if we don't top deck another Grass Energy, I'm just going to say forget it. We'll play the Switch, go Via Seeker, and get the Sycamore and get a fresh hand size of 7. Now, it would be really nice if we did have the, the Force of Giant Plant Stadium, but we should really preserve that and wait and see if my opponent plays Rough Seas. I'm assuming my opponent plays Rough Seas. We see here Jenna the Pumpkin playing Sharon, drawing 3 extra cards, having a huge hand size. We see Roller Skates as well, flipping heads. Oh my goodness, 2 cards turned into 6 right there. And that is ridiculous. Now, my opponent will have a lot of things going for her or him or Jenna the Pumpkin on their side of the field here. Plenty of things that can happen there. We can see some things get benched. This is in the expanded format. Did I say Professor Sycamore earlier? I thought, I should have said Juniper. I thought I was in the standard format. All right, let's go for the Switch right here. And I'm just going to go ahead, Ultra Ball, get rid of this Chesnaught Break. Let's go with the Quilladin here, and let's take a look and see our deck really quick. We do have the Super Rods. That's good. We can always play that later and get the other Chestnaught Break. Now, we do have one more Chestnaught Break in the deck. That's fantastic. And then we do have the Chestnaught as well. So let's go ahead. We'll evolve this Chespin here on the right. You are the chosen one! The Chespin on the right. That's right. We have 3 Chespins, and we have chosen the one that came out last. Okay, so here we go. Oh, look at that. So we didn't get the Force of Giant Plants, but that's okay. We can always get it in the next turn. I do have the Chestnaught here. Let's just go for the Emerald Slash, hitting for that 50 plus the 2 energies right here. We can just slowly power up our Chestnaught coming in the next turn. We should be able to have 1 powered up and ready to go. Again, we have the Skylight here available to us if we really need to. We can just search for the Stadium and then evolve right away. Or we can even search for a Muscle Band and go that route. Or we can search for something else too. Depending on the scenario, depending on what my opponent does, gotta wait and see. So the Manectric EX right here certainly can do an Assault Laser. We can see something like a Headringer and then an Assault Laser. Oh my goodness, another Sharon. My opponent must like 3 cards at a time or something like that. I don't know. 3 cards at a time, just packing that hand size. And here we see a Stunfisk with an energy drop right there. Question is, are we going to see a Spirit Link? Here's the Rough Seas, so we do see the Rough Seas. Now that Stunfisk over there can be very dangerous. It's got that Revenge Attack, which hits for 100 instead of the typical 90 that we typically see with Revenge Attacks or Retaliate and things like that. It usually hits for 90, but the Stunfisk is a little bit stronger. It hits for 100 once we knock out a Pokemon. So, excuse me. Oh. Alright, so let's go ahead. We're going to counter the Stadium. I don't want my opponent to keep healing. So let's go ahead and take a look and see. We could counter the Stadium. We could grab another supporter, but I want to go with the Stadium counter here. I don't want to see my opponent keep healing off damage counters from the electric Pokemon. So, you know what? We're actually going to, perhaps we can play it on here, and maybe we can probably go for the Emerald Slash for the Chespin on the left, spread the wealth a little bit, and go that route. So, again, we're kind of low on our hand size as well, so that's something to look out for. No supporters in our hand. We use that Skyla, and I mean, we have plenty of grass energies left. Certainly, I can power up this Chespin, or I could go with the Virizion over here in case we need to have another Virizion backed up and ready to go for more Verdant Winds, or not Verdant Winds, Emerald Break slashes, Emerald Break. Anyways, if we want to get another Chestnaught Break going, we got to get that Super Rod to shuffle in some of the Pokemon that we lost earlier. So, wow, my opponent even has a super potion, playing the energy on that Manectric EX, and then healing off 60 damage that way. So look at that. My opponent didn't even need that. Oh, even has the rough seas. Oh my goodness. So we really need that muscle band if we want to knock out this Manectric EX in one shot. Which to me, I feel like, well, I don't know. Oh man, if we get a muscle band, I actually wouldn't mind doing a what is it? The takedown attack that the Chesnaught has instead of the Chesnaught Break. That could be an option, and we can Lysander it out the Stun Fist, knock that out, because the 100 damage that the Stun Fist does can be kind of scary. So ooh, we see a VS Secret that can go for more Sharons, definitely more 3 cards. Yes, my opponent went for a Sharon, and we'll draw 3 more cards. My opponent definitely likes to draw in bunches, and bunches of 3s for that matter. So here is a Magnemite. Oh, okay. So that's the one that doesn't have the ability, so that's kind of interesting. So the opponent may be trying to paralyze us, maybe buy a turn that way. I do like that as well. Gives you that kind of flexibility. So we do have a level ball here. Oh man, I don't even remember if we have. Oh no, we don't. It's prized. Oh no. Ah, shucks. Okay, well, at least we do have the Chestnaught in there. At some point, we should be able to... Alright, so I think we're just going to go aggressive right now. Either that or... Yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, yeah, if we had Giovanni right now, I could have done, you know, the knockout for sure. But then, of course, we'll have to get hit for 100 damage by that Stun Fist. So let's just go ahead. We're going to power up the Virizion EX over here. Get another kind of pseudo attacker on the right. Getting that ready to go in case if our, well, yeah, our Virizion here will go down. And it will be, you know, it'll be good. That way we'll bring out our Chesnaught Break, knock out this Manectric EX, and finish off. We'll basically knock out the Stun Fist in the next turn. Now, again, revenge right here. My opponent's going to need 1 more lightning energy onto, or any other energy for that matter, onto that Stun Fist to make it any real threat, which is very likely. My opponent played an energy on the Magneton after evolving that from the Magnemite. We see the Pikachu hit the field from that level ball hitting the discard pile. We see a Lysander here. My opponent opts to bring out the Chestnaught. And oh, that's kind of interesting. Choosing to hit for, what is it? Potentially one prize instead of 2. So right here, my opponent does take 30 damage from my spiky shield, which is really nice. That puts the Manectric EX in an easy knockout range right here. So we do flip heads, and nice. Okay, so we get a muscle band. Let's go for the roller skates, and oh man, we don't get the Giovanni. Do we even play Giovanni? We do play Giovanni. Yeah, that's right. We don't have Giovanni. Okay, so I'm just gonna play the muscle band onto our Chestnaught. We're gonna hit for the touchdown. That's what it's not takedown, it's touchdown. So let's Lysander out this guy right here. Since the Manectric EX is only hitting for 60 a time. Well, actually the Manectric EX can hit for 120 now, but we'll heal off 20 damage anyways. And I'm afraid another scary thing is to see a Mega Manectric. Now, what I really would like to see happen is if we can get a Giovanni out here, and you know, if we had a muscle band, we could play the muscle band on the Virizion, use Giovanni, hit for 90. That would have been a knockout of the Manectric EX from the Virizion EX. That would have been really cool. And then, of course, the oh wow, we see a Raichu right here. We could get Thunderclapped, guys. Thunderclap can be pretty scary. That could knock out the Virizion on the bench, guys. And that means that Virizion on the bench that has 120 damage is a liability with 2 energies on there. That's kind of tragic. You know, I'm thinking I might want to use the Virizion EX to maybe knock out the Raichu. Now, think about this. If we have a, what is it, the Muscle Band plus the Giovanni, we can actually knock out that Raichu, go out with a bang instead of, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm just wishful thinking right now. So, Thunderclap, very scary. Hits for 50 on all of our EXs. Can you imagine that Thunderclap had, whatchamacallit, the scope, whatever, the magnifying scope, I don't know what it is, but hits for weakness on the bench. That'd be pretty scary. So right here, my opponent right now is at 80 damage after healing off 30 with the rough seas. Ends up being at 80 anyways because of the spiky shield. So we're looking really good here. We do have a float stone that we can play, perhaps on the Shaman EX. I'm not too sure. But right now, we should be able to knock out this Manectric EX and heal off 20 damage. So we are at 160. That's intense. That is intense. But you know what? Because we are a Chesnaught Break, we got that nice 30 extra HP. Alright, so there we go. We do knock it out, healing off 20 more HP. Do we get that? Oh no, where is that Quilladin guy? Come on now, where's that stage 1? Here's a Dedenne. That's going to be an easy knockout. All that Dedenne needs to do an energy short is just one simple energy. And that'd be an easy knockout on us. So, gotta wait and see. Does my opponent do that? Does he go for a Thunderclap instead? I don't know. I mean, he could. Or she, my opponent, this person, Jenna the Pumpkin. Jenna the Pumpkin. I'm sorry, I kept calling you a he a couple times. But we see another Magneton here. So my opponent does have the Magnezone on the bench, being able to drop as many lightning energies as she pleases. And that could be... yeah, very frightening there. Oh, we see a DCE on the Dedenne instead. I did not see that coming. We get hit for 80, of course we'll get knocked out, but the Dedenne here is in knockout range from our Virizion. So I'm actually, I think I might want to, let's just, okay, so, you know, oh man, I think I promoted the wrong one. I think I want to promote the one with the 120 damage, because that's going to get knocked out anyways. Might as well let that one get finished off with a bang, right? I mean, why the heck not? Why not finish off, you know, knocking out a Pokemon. So right here we can see, I'm gonna thin out my hand. All right, let's go with the one on the bench. Let's do that. We definitely could have played Switch. Let's see, I'm gonna just Ultra Ball. Let's get rid of the Switch as well. I do want to thin out my hand as much as I can. That way I can play the Shaman. Now again, my opponent, I'm very likely my opponent's gonna Thunderclap at some point anyway. So let's go ahead. We'll draw until we have some more cards. Nice. We got the Super Rod here. We even have the Muscle Band. We technically don't need the Muscle Band on, I forgot. I need to retreat first. I need the Muscle Band on this version, but I really don't need that Muscle Band since the 30 damage is on there anyways, but might as well. Let's just go for the big money right here. Let's go for the roller skates as well, hitting heads right here. So, alrighty then. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. I feel like my opponent right now, apart from having any more Manectrics, ooh, no, wrong one. Let's just go ahead and grab, yeah, right there. We don't need the grass energy per se. We have the chest pin on the bench. That's all ready to go. Ooh, we even have a Colress here. We can draw for 8. That looks great. I wonder if we can get the Deforest Giant Plants as well, and then just evolve right away on one row. Oh my goodness. Too bad we retreated already. Doesn't really matter. Again, the Virizion in the X spot is gonna get knocked out with the Thunderclap anyways. So, yeah, I mean, it's not like might as well let this Virizion go out strong, finish with a bang, and that's what we want. We're down to 2 cards only, guys, so that's something to watch out for, too. We do have an N available to us, but let's knock out this Dedenne here. And again, no more grass energies. We used up our, hey, there's that Giovanni scheme. Could have used that a while ago, so... here comes the Raichu. My opponent needs an energy drop to do a Thunderclap, and then we should be able to knock out the Raichu. Wow, a DCE. Could see an Electro Smash, but that wouldn't be necessary. I would imagine my opponent's going to go for the Thunderclap instead. That'll hit for 50 on both Shamans. Now, even my opponent did have the that scope thing, whatever it is, the magnifying glass or magnifying scope, whatever it was. The Shamans would survive, which is funny, because they'll get hit for 100, right, 50 times 2, and the Shamans would survive with 10 HP. So here it is. Wow, my opponent even gets heads off of those. Plenty of coin flipping for my opponent here with those roller skates, tilting heads all the times and getting 3 cards at oh man, off of each roller skates. So here we go. We should see a Thunderclap. Could very well see the Electro Smash, whatever it is. That would knock us out as well, but I mean, really, you could just Thunderclap and take advantage of quite a few things right here, putting those Shaman EXs in danger. But, you know, once we get out here, my opponent doesn't really have anything else besides a Magnezone with 1 energy there. It could hit us for 100, but wouldn't be able to knock out our Chestnaught Break. Another thing my opponent could do is Lysander out a Shaman EX in the next turn after we knock out the Raichu, and that could be pretty tragic. My opponent would be able to power up the Magnezone pretty quickly and then knock out the Shaman EX. Of course, my opponent would be down to 1 prize card. We would be down to 1 prize card as well, and then we'll just simply knock out the Magnezone. So even if my opponent did do that, we're at a very good position right here. So okay, yeah. So there it is. There's a Thunderclap. Kind of expected that. We're just going to promote the Chestnaught Break. Should be able to just knock out the Raichu, no problem. And we don't even need to do, Chesnaught Break's attack, whatever it is. I don't, it's something hammer, heavy hammer or tough hammer. That's right. We could probably just do the touchdown. So let's go ahead. We're gonna end my opponent down to 3. My opponent's got a ridiculous hand size here. We still get the Giovanni scheme again. We do have the N again. So right now our deck size is at 4, which is kind of nice. Let's just go for the touchdown and heal for nothing, but hit for 90, knocking out the Raichu. Gotta wait and see what does my opponent promote, and it doesn't matter anymore. Hey, there's that Quilladin. Doesn't really matter. We can play it onto the chest pin, but rather not, since the chest pin has the 1 retreat cost. Well, technically we ran out of energies anyway, since we don't have any more super rods. Now, if my opponent does last ender out the Shaman EX, that could be easy 2 prizes right there, and we'll simply just knock out the Magna Zone after that. So otherwise, unless my opponent just chooses to attack the Chestnaught Break, that's not going to be enough to knock us out unless we see something strange happening here where my opponent does hit for weakness somehow, some way, which is impossible, but you never know. And I'm just kidding. Unless there's a glitch, that's another thing. But I highly doubt it. So we're going to get for 100 with the Thunder Blast. And we shall respond. Maybe we should just go big. My opponent will take 30 damage from the spiky shield, which is kind of fun. Not that that really matters. And we'll just go ahead and we even get a muscle band to boot. We even have the Giovanni. I could have played that for sure. But, let's just be nice. We'll just do the takedown, hit for 100 damage because of that nice spiky shield working in our favor here. And alrighty then, look at that. Pretty convincing win, pretty quick win. And I'm sure you guys are watching this, you guys are probably thinking that you guys want to see more, and I will give you guys more. Don't worry. Let's go ahead. We'll play another match here on Pokemon TCG Online. Alright, and we'll be playing against Santiago COX right here. Cox. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyways, he's gonna go for the coin flip here. We can see his coin flipping over and over again, and it is a tails. We have won the coin toss. That's great. That way we can evolve first. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna get. Oh, nothing. Okay, looks like we'll be molding again here. My opponent right now playing with the Charizard, Mega Charizard sleeves over there. We do start off with the chest pin as well as a Quilladin here, and then a Level Ball. We even have a Muscle Band. Got Roller Skates here, got Switch, and Skyla. So Skyla right now can probably go ahead. Oh, this is nice. All right, let's go for the Roller Skates. Darn, we flipped tails. Now, what I really want to do is get an opportunity. So we're gonna play the muscle band here, so that way my opponent doesn't do like what is it, head ringer. So I want to actually go for the Ultra Ball. I want to see if we can get an opportunity to get an energy drop here. We absolutely need to get that energy drop. That way we can, at the very least, get a turn 2 Emerald Slash. So it is a bit of a sacrifice. Now we did see in our deck we did have the whatchamacallit, fishing pole thing. Super Rod, that's right. Alright, so let's go for the Shaman as planned. Do we get it? No, we don't. We do have the Super Rod here. That's actually kind of nice. We're going to play the Full Stone onto the Shaman. Could probably play the Muscle Band here, and then we're going to go for an Ultra Ball again, and then get another Shaman out here. So we absolutely need to get that energy drop here. We're going to go ahead and sacrifice the Super Rod to play it for now, and so we'll get out our second Shaman right now, and then we're going to go for that Super Rod, as I said. And that way the Shaman will be able to draw into some more cards. So only two Pokemon here. Maybe we can hang on to that, really, because we maybe don't need to get that use this right away. No, this is great. So we did get this right here. We do have the Ultra Ball that we can probably play. I'll probably just hang on to that. Could play the Giant Forest Plants, but I'm going to hang on to that. It's good to just kind of pass turn right here. Let's hang on to our cards. We don't exactly need to evolve right away. And so what I want to do is wait, hold on to the Forest Giant Plants until my opponent plays the Stadium, and then counter the Stadium, and then evolve when we really need to. So at the very least, we can pull off a turn 2 Emerald Slash here and start powering up the chest pin. So there it is. We do see the Burbank City Gym. This is good news for us. This is why we held on to that Stadium card and that we didn't play it. So here's a Professor Sycamore. My opponent discarding the Head Ringer. Look at that. Opting not to play the Head Ringer on any of our Shamans. That could be, I don't know, maybe my opponent could have done that, but I guess not. So the Head Ringer does hit the discard pile. Thank goodness we played the Muscle Band on our Virizion EX. My opponent plays an Ultra Ball, discards 2 more cards. Gotta wait and see. My opponent may be playing perhaps a Shaman. Could see a Garbodor, could see, so this is in the, it is the Trubbish. We could see the Garbodor since we are in the expanded format. My opponent may be shutting off our Verdant Wind, and we wouldn't be able able to use that anymore. So we see a trainer's mail here. My opponent can look at the top 4 cards of his deck and see any trainer cards there he can take here. And he's taken the Muscle Band, seeing that from the top 4 cards of his deck. He's going to be playing that Muscle Band onto the Darkrai and passing the turn. So, oh, this is perfect top deck. Oh my goodness. We do counter the stadium here. We do get the Force of Giant Plants into play. We have Via Seeker. We got a Super Rod. Do I want to play this now? Maybe, yeah, let's play it now. That way we have a better chance, and we can guarantee to evolve into the Quilladin here. Now, we do play the N. We could play the N. My opponent's only got 3 cards, but you know what? I'm a nice guy. We're going to play an N anyways. And, well, hey, at the very least, we did get the Quilladin here. Alright, I can't even pronounce this guy's name correctly. But anyways, there's the stage 1 right there off the chest pin. And let's just go for the Emerald Slash. Now, we do have a really bad hand right here. We have 3 grass energies that we will be able to play 1 grass energy in the next turn. And then we're going to have to discard the other 2, which I don't really feel too comfortable about that, especially since we already lost our Super Rod. I might as well just hang on to our hand. Maybe we can draw into Via Seeker. The worst thing is that, we hang on to our hand and we keep drawing more energies, or we keep drawing more Junipers. That would be terrible, but we got to wait and see what we can do. Obviously, I would like to play the Juniper, if we can get rid of these energy cards, and perhaps my opponent even counters the stadium, and then we can, optimize the usage of the Force of Giant Plant stadium in our hand to counter his stadium again once he counters ours. So there's a lot of reasons why we want to hang on to our hand instead of playing the Juniper and stuff. Oh, look at that! My opponent brings out the Shaman, and we even see a not Verbank Gym. We see the Hypnotoxic Laser, and here it is. My Shaman EX is asleep right here, but luckily for us, we did wake up. Now, oh my goodness, we get another energy off the top deck here. That is just awful. Do we want to play the Juniper here and discard 3 energy cards? I don't think so, guys. I'm gonna hang on to this. This will be a 3. This is going to be 3-turn knockout, knocking out the Darkrai EX, which is really nice. That Muscle Band came in really handy. So even if my opponent hits us with a Night Spear, I might as well just stick it out with the Virizion and knock out the Darkrai EX with another Emerald Slash. And then perhaps we can probably ooh, wow, we see a Scramble Switch as the expected choice. That's kind of interesting. So here is the Garbodor, and I believe my opponent does not have a full stone on that guy, so we got to be pretty careful here. My opponent will be able to use Hypnotoxic Laser on us now, and does flip tails, thank goodness. So as long as we don't see, oh, my opponent plays a Shaman EX, but it doesn't really matter unless my opponent plans to attack with the Shaman EX. Here is a DCE on the Darkrai EX. I'm going to go ahead and just knock out the Darkrai with the Emerald Slash in the next turn. We can perhaps power up the Shaman EX and maybe use a Sky Return at some point, but as of right now, we did get the Chespin. Oh, great. So actually, I'm going to power up the Chespin in the next turn. We should have 3 energies, and then we can play another energy on the Chespin for the next turn as well. And then we'll probably just end up discarding 1 energy off the Juniper instead of 3, as we could have done before. So let's go for the Emerald Slash. That Chespin was godsend right here. Thank goodness we got that. The Lord has provided right here with a Chespin on the bench. And knocking out the Darkrai right here. Let's take 2 prizes right. Oh, wow. We get the Virizion as well as a Via Seeker. And the poison damage lurks. And at the very least, this Shaman EX shouldn't be able to knock us out unless we see a Muscle Band. But I believe we saw a Float Stone on this guy. Maybe there's a Muscle Band. I wasn't really paying attention. Oh, more Hypnotoxic Lasers does flip tails. Here's another Sycamore. My opponent is digging through his deck quite a bit. He's at 16 cards. We're actually at 21, so we've been digging through quite a bit of our deck as well. Here's a Trubbish hitting on my opponent's side of the field, and a Muscle Band, or not a Muscle Band, a DCE on the Shaman EX. That's going to be kind of funny. It's going to knock out our Virizion right here. Damage increased with the poison damage as well. Knocking out our Virizion. Now we will bring probably, our Pokemon on the left over here. It's got 30 damage on it, but we should be good to go, knocking out. Ideally, off of this Juniper, we should be able to draw all the cards we need. So, and more Via Seekers. Do we play the N? That's actually a pretty good question. We could play an N, put our opponent down to 4 cards, or we can go and get a Skyla and kind of go that route right here. The Skyla right here will guarantee us to get the Chestnaught with the Ultra Ball here. That looks really good for me. I mean, why not, right? And then of course we can always play the Juniper in the next turn. So you know, we could probably just get rid of the Vision. I don't think we really need that anymore. I'm going to get rid of the Juniper. We have the Seeker we can use. And then we have an energy drop, which we can play onto a Shaman in case we need to use that Shaman for retreating purposes later on as well. So you never know, that can happen. So let's go ahead. We'll just evolve right here. And we'll go with the touchdown for 90. Well, technically 110 with the muscle band. So we do heal off 20. It's kind of nice. So back to 150 HP since our Chestnaught is 160 HP total. And if only we can get that Chestnaught Break out here, then we should be able to knock out this Garbodor. Again, this Garbodor cannot retreat since it's got a muscle band instead. So the Full Stone comes down onto the Shaman EX. And again, my opponent with the huge hand size wouldn't matter if my opponent would have been able to do setup anyways, because the Garbodor has the Garbotoxin. And yeah, it shuts off that ability. So, as of right now, we're going to go ahead and go with the game plan here. We're just going to play the energy down onto one of the Shamans. My opponent does counter the Stadium. Thank goodness we held on to our Force of Giant Plants we still have right there. And because Hypnotoxic Laser can still be pretty deadly on our Chestnaughts, can put us to sleep, lose a turn like that. That would be very pathetic. And my opponent brings out a Keldeo EX. And here is a VS Seeker. My opponent can go for a Lysander and Lysander out perhaps. I don't know. Well, actually, wait, I wasn't paying attention. What did my opponent grab anyways? Even if he did Lysander something out, we'll just go ahead and play an energy down on the Shaman EX and then retreat with that. My opponent plays an energy on the Shaman over there, and that's it. So, wow, look at that. We get the Juniper here off the top deck. You know what? I'm just going to be patient. We really don't need to get that Chestnaught Break. It's not really necessary. And as of right now, I guess, you know, we didn't really even need to counter the Stadium, but that can probably come back and haunt us. But here is another Force of Giant Plants that we can play. Got plenty to go now. We can just keep playing the Stadium more. We should be at a good advantage here. As soon as we counter the Stadium, my opponent can counter again, and we can counter one more time. Oh, here is the Headringer. My opponent can play that on the Shaman EX with the energy here. But again, we really use the Shaman just to retreat at this point. In case you really need to retreat, there's really no point in trying to attack with the Shaman EX since we do have our Chestnaught out here. It doesn't look like my opponent can really take down the Chestnaught either. Oh, here's an Eviltal. That can probably take down the Chestnaught. We could still see Muscle Band and, what is it, Dark Patch and DCE drop. That would be very serious. And, again, Keldeo can rush in and retreat now because that Garbodor is gone. And we're down to 2 prizes here. The question is, can we top deck... Oh, never mind. I was going to say, if we top deck the Chestnaught Break right now, that'd be pretty cool. So let's counter the Stadium here. And I'm going to have to go with the Juniper here, or we could probably just go with the Skyla again and get the Chestnaught Break and always go for what guarantees us the exact cards we need. So I don't want, you know, I always hate to have to deal with scenarios where we play like Juniper and then we just don't get the Chestnaught Break anyways, and we don't get any cards that we need to get the Chestnaught Break. Like another, oh, that's it, my opponent concedes the match, and again, we would have been able to get the Chestnaught Break. My opponent for sure could have still made a comeback. Certainly my opponent could still have made a comeback. We could still have seen Dark Patch, DCE, Energy Drop, all that stuff. Who knows? And that could have been an easy knockout. I think we had 4 energies on our Chestnaught, and my opponent would have been able to hit for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, a bit of knockout for sure. So let's go ahead and play another match here on Pokemon TCG Online. Alright, and we'll be playing against MTG Phaser. So someone's a Magic the Gathering fan here. That's awesome. So we did lose the coin flip. I'm gonna guess this is gonna be our last match of the day. And Magic the Gathering Phaser will be choosing to who goes first. And wow, we get to go first. How generous. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I almost feel like not good because it's always kind of nerve-wracking when you allow someone, you know, when someone allows you to go first. They must have something really good. So we see Water Sleeves, Water Coin. We could very well be playing against a Water deck. We are in the expanded format. We see a Mewtwo EX. So my assumption here is we're playing against some kind of Archie's Blastoise or something like that. Very popular. So we're going to go with the Full Zone instead of the Switch. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can pull off... a turn 2 Emerald Break, that's for sure. That's what I really want to go for. So we're gonna play the Verizon here. We're gonna play the Force of Giant Plants. Might as well. Maybe, yeah, let's just play it. And then we'll go for the end. So again, my opponent can easily counter the stadium, but I'll take the chance here. And look at that. So we're looking pretty good. I'm actually going to hang on to the Shaman and the active spot. We're going to keep it there in case my opponent does play a DCE or something like that. You never know. And I don't want to deal with having a damaged Virizion right away. So let's go ahead. We're going to play the Ultra Ball, get the Shaman out here. If we can get some more Pokemon to play, if we get some more of the evolution chain going here. And, oh, we got the roller skates. Can we flip heads? No, we did not get heads. I was too quick to say thank goodness we got heads, but we actually got tails. And here we go. We gotta wait and see what's gonna happen here. Mewtwo EX definitely can hit us for an X ball. You can see an Archie's Ace in a Hole with a Blastoise, perhaps. I'm assuming my opponent is playing an Archie's Ace in a Hole because the Mewtwo perhaps is a dead giveaway. But then we see not a dead giveaway, but then like the water sleeves, the water energies, or not energies, but yeah, the water energies right there. Yeah. Oh, we see a Wailord EX. Oh, that's interesting. The water coin, that's what I was saying. So a lot of water, a big water theme here, water everything. Here's an Articuno. So I am assuming this is going to be a, yeah, Archie's Blastoise deck. That's my guess. These decks are extremely explosive, so here we go. We see, ooh, superior energy retrieval, and there's the Blastoise. Okay, so my opponent's going to try to go for it right now. Can we see a turn 1 Blastoise and Deluge happen here? Does my opponent have what it takes? If he does, we are in huge digit. Oh, never mind. My opponent just passed the turn after that, and we do have a level ball here. We have the N again. I don't really want to play the N because my opponent didn't really play anything after that. So my opponent basically just passed the turn having 4 cards in his hand. So I might just go for a Juniper here if I have the Juniper. Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's right. So we're going to go for the Juniper. Again, my opponent just passed the turn, so I'm assuming my opponent does not have the right cards to pull it off. And I don't want to disrupt his hand or add to his hand, that is. So let's go ahead. We're playing a level ball here, getting the chest spin going. And we do have the roller skates here. That's kind of nice. And roller skates it is. So let's go with this. Do we see? We got heads. And oh, nice. We got the Chestnaught here. We do have another Virizion as well. Perhaps we could play for. So right here, actually, it's going to be pretty interesting is I'm going to go for the Emerald Slash. That's going to hit for only 50 damage. But we do have Giovanni's Scheme right here. That's going to be pretty fun. And this is the part where I wished I had DCE. Sometimes, I played 13 Grass Energies. Probably 2 of them, like I said, could have been, or at least a couple of them could have been DCEs. But that's okay. We're going to go with the Sprout anyways and see if we can pull off a win here. We see a Jirachi right now. My opponent definitely can start setting up some things. And I'm guessing my opponent probably top decked that Jirachi. I don't know. That's my assumption. So we see an Archie's Ace in a Hole. I don't know if my opponent can pull it off right now. Does he have the cards? Can he discard his hand size down to 1 card with that Archie's that he has? So there it is. There is a Keldeo off the Ultra Ball. Does he have an energy he can drop down and then get the Archie's Ace in a Hole maneuver going here? So here is the Keldeo with an energy drop. Again, my opponent is weak to grass. That Keldeo and that Blastoise is weak to grass. So those are easy knockouts for the Chestnaught and the Virizion EX. With the Muscle Band, we can one-shot the Blastoise, hitting for 70 times to 140 damage. We see a Battle Compressor here. My opponent's going to be thinning his deck a little bit more. And the Blastoise does show up. So this is my opponent's turn 2. Turn 2, Blastoise. And we can see a bunch of Deluges right now. We see my opponent, looks like my opponent went for the Execute, bringing that back into his hand. And then, unless my opponent has, the superior energy retrieval, we can see a bunch of energy drops on the Keldeo EX. And, oh, we see the Ultra Ball. Okay, that could probably go for maybe a Shaman. No, another Keldeo. Okay, so, again, my opponent can drop, if he does have the superior energy retrieval, he can drop 4 energies on that Keldeo plus a Muscle Band, but I'm assuming my opponent would rather have the Float Stone on there. But since my opponent did get another Keldeo, that Keldeo can have the Float Stone and go with that. So let's go ahead. We're going to add the Muscle Band onto the Chestnaught on the bench. We could go with the Giovanni's Scheme right here, or could play an N and try to disrupt my opponent's hand a little bit. But again, my opponent did not have the superior energy retrieval, so that means my opponent's going to be trying to top deck that. We didn't see much anything else besides 1 energy drop onto that Keldeo on the bench over there, and my opponent does have 1 Keldeo from that Ultra Ball. So, you know what, we're just going to go ahead, we're going to hit the Mewtwo here, and we do have the Giovanni Scheme again, so that means if my opponent does not do anything to knock out this Virizion EX, we can basically just play Giovanni Scheme and hit for 170 off the Emerald Slash. That would knock out the Mewtwo EX. And we didn't even need to use a muscle band on that. So we can preserve the muscle band onto our Chestnaught on the bench. That's kind of nice. So in the next turn, if my opponent doesn't do anything at all, we're just going to play Giovanni Scheme, play the energy on Chespin on the bench first, and then Giovanni Scheme, and then probably just go for the knockout with the Emerald Slash, and then power up the Chespin on the bench. And I really hope my opponent does not play Rough Seas, but I'm assuming he does. And if he does, I hope he doesn't find it. If maybe all 4 copies are prized or something like that. If we can keep that Force Giant Plants out there, we have a better chance of evolving this Chespin and getting that going too. So with that way, we can have 2 Chesnaught breaks going, and that would be very, very beneficial for our side of the field. Being able to have 2 fully powered Chestnaughts, well, technically only 1 so far because 1 is already in the discard pile. So potentially, if we don't get that Super Rod, then we will only have 1 Chesnaught break in play. So still need to top deck that or draw it somehow. Maybe get an Ultra Ball, get that Chestnaught break going. But right here, that Mewtwo EX right here is in danger. Oh, that's it. My opponent passes the turn. The Keldeo opts not to rush in, and my opponent probably assuming we don't have the Giovanni Scheme or a Muscle Band for that matter, and we won't be able to knock it out. So let's go ahead. We're just going to power up this Chespin here. We do have the Ultra Ball here that we could probably play, but do I want to play this? If I do, I'll probably just discard the Chestnaught and the N, but that's yeah, I mean, again, if we can get the Super Rod, we can get that Chestnaught back. We could go for the oh, never mind. I guess we're just going for the Chestnaught break. So there's that Super Rod. So one of my stage 1s, the Quilladin guy, is in the prizes. Should have expected that, but that's okay. So we do have the VS Seeker again for the next turn. Let's go ahead and go for the Giovanni Scheme right now, just as our plan, just as we schemed it, just like we schemed it here. And we're going to hit for 20 more extra damage. Let's go for that Emerald Slash, hitting for that 70, and that's going to be a knockout. The last 2 energies right here, so wow, we got 8 energies on our field, 8 energies on our bench here, plus the 2 on the Virizion. That's 10 energies total. Do we get the... Oh, we gotta switch. Oh, well, man, I'll take it. We can preserve our Virizion EX's energies and keep them as a potential backup attacker that can attack the Keldeo or even the Blastoise. So, as of right now, we can definitely hit for a knockout on the Keldeo or even on the Blastoise if we really need to. And I'm guessing I don't know, I think I'd like to knock out the Keldeo, assuming if my opponent does put up a bunch of energies on the Keldeo. We could probably just Lysander the Keldeo out and knock it out. But, I mean, I would like to knock out that Blastoise too. That'd be, oh, my opponent does counter the Stadium. Okay, so there is the Rough Seas. And so that's already 2 Stadiums right there in the discard pile, which is a little tragic. But if we can find another Force of Giant Plants, we should be able to evolve that. Well, actually, no. We need to draw some prizes first and see if we can draw that Quilladin so we can evolve that Chespin there. And so more Keldeos are on the field, and you can see my opponent does play Professor Juniper here, digging through his deck some more, waiting to see does he have that superior energy retrieval, and he can play and drop 4 more energies on the Keldeo EX. And that way the Keldeo, wow, he's got 3 Keldeos on his side of the field as well as a Jirachi and a Blastoise. The Keldeo can rush in and hit us for quite a bit. I don't know if it's exactly enough to knock us out. He'll need maybe a Muscle Band, even with the superior energy retrieval, getting 4 energies. That'll be 5 energies total on the Keldeo EX. Unless, of course, he had another energy right there, too. So he does have another energy. He plays it on the Articuno. I mean, really, since we do have that resistance, now my opponent is hitting us for a base 50 and hits 20 more for each energy. For 5 energies, he's going to be hitting us for 150, plus a Muscle Band, that's 170, minus the resistance, that's only 150. So he needs to get at least 6 energies to one-shot our Virizion EX. I believe that's right? 6 energies, that'd be 120 plus 50, 70, plus a Muscle Band. Yeah, 6 energies and a Muscle Band, that'll do the trick. But otherwise, right now, I don't see my opponent knocking out the Virizion. Even if he did knock out the Virizion, we do have an answer for him. We have the Chesnaught Break, and that should be able to hit for the knockout easily. I mean, even just a takedown, it would be 180 on the Keldeo EX. So my opponent goes for a Battle Compressor. We saw getting rid of the Archie's Ace and Hole. Again, the Keldeo here would basically be giving up a lot right now. My opponent would need more superior energy retrievals to keep responding. And the sad part is our Chestnaught Break does not have any water resistance. And that means, it basically is the same setup as our Virizion, with 170 HP and the resistance, and with the Chestnaught being 190 HP. So again, so here's a superior energy retrieval. Okay. So yeah, like I said, the Chestnaught. Oh, so there's the 4 energies. The Chesnaught Break, if the Keldeo had 5 energies plus a muscle band, I think that would knock us out. Even the Chesnaught Break that hit us for 190. Yeah, which is insane. 5. No. Actually, wait. 6. You need 6 energies. Yeah, that's right. 6 energies and a muscle band. So right here, 5 energies are on that Keldeo. That shouldn't be enough to knock us out. I'd be surprised if that did knock us out somehow. My math would have been wrong. Is my math wrong? My math is wrong on quite a few occasions. So we see 1, 2, 3. 3 superior energy retrievals already in the discard pile. My opponent has another superior energy retrieval. That's it. He has no more superior energy retrievals, and he's going to have to power up this Keldeo quite a bit. That means once we knock out this Keldeo with all this energy, we don't even need to aim for the Blastoise, because there's no more superior energy retrieval. We'll just gotta knock it out, and then that's it. And my opponent's gonna have, basically be in top deck mode for energies, unless he's got Professor's Letters, and who knows how many energies he's running. So here is the Secret Sword. Hits for only 150 because of that resistance. Like I said, he needed a muscle band to really knock us out. And yeah, 6 energies and a muscle band would have knocked us out. The funny thing is, my opponent could have played for 7 energies on that Keldeo, but opted to play 1 energy on the Articuno on the bench over there. Perhaps my opponent was trying to look for an opportunity to get 3 prizes off of the Virizion that's on the bench right here with 150 damage. That could have certainly happened. Now, if my opponent has 2 more energies, we can see a Lysander bring out the Virizion EX, knock it out, take 3 prizes that way, and that would be very brutally vicious. But again, we do have our Chesnaught Break that can easily respond to just about anything. We can just Lysander out the Keldeo, knock it out with another touchdown, and heal nothing that we don't have any damage counters. But seriously, I mean, we are in prime position, and we're taking on a Archie's ace in the hole Blastoise right now. I mean, I'm guessing my opponent may not have had the best start. Couldn't get Blastoise on turn 1, but was able to get Blastoise on turn 2. Did have to sacrifice quite a few resources to do it, though. I remember he did sacrifice like 2 of his superior energy retrievals, and then we saw him play 2 superior energy retrievals, drawing 8 energy cards. And investing 6 energies on that Keldeo. And here is the Articuno. The Articuno can certainly, knock out the Virizion if my opponent has that Lysander. If not, our Chesnaught Break here will be able to just knock out that Keldeo on the bench. The Articuno here won't be able to knock out the Chestnaught, but here's the Lysander, and this could be a really nice turnaround for my opponent, taking 3 prizes here. And that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So my opponent will take 3 prizes. There it is, 2 heads. That will be a knockout. But certainly that made it for an interesting game. Not really. We do have a Lysander in our hand as well. That would be a really quick knockout. And even if we didn't have Lysander, we would have knocked out the Articuno. My opponent would really be in a lot of pressure to try to find energies and deluge them onto Keldeo. And even if he did, we have our Pokemon on the bench that's ready to go. We even have a muscle band. So let's just go all out here. Let's go with the tough hammer here. Hit for weakness, 360 damage, 30 to ourselves, and knocking out that Keldeo. Taking the last 2 prizes, we see a Colress and another energy right there, and that's it for the match. So I guess we didn't really need that DCE as long as we were able to pull off that turn 2 Emerald Slash. We were able to consistently get enough energies on the Chesnaught Break, and here, look at that, we were able to complete. So at the same time, this was like a daily challenge, a daily challenge video. I was able to complete a daily challenge for you guys. At the same time, showcasing, wow, look at that, two daily challenges here, guys. 2 daily challenges completed. We even have a Roaring Skies pack, which I'm probably going to open up later on. But yeah, oh my goodness. Chesnaught Break was a lot of fun to play. But again, I think resources was a little thin. Sometimes, playing only a 2/2 line of a lot of these cards, we found ourselves stuck a couple times where vital cards were prized. That's for sure. So I don't know. Certainly a lot of things we can tweak. We could probably swap out some energies again for DCEs, and maybe fine tune this deck to be a little bit more fun. But still, it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video too. Thanks so much for watching. That's it for today. You guys take care. Have a wonderful day. See you guys later. Goodbye.